y'all hit that like button on the front end of this thing, and don't forget to subscribe if you have not done so just yet. We appreciate y'all rocking with us too, man. A lot of new people been rocking with us. We up to 43K right now too, man, with the subscribers. So salute each and every one of y'all, man. But let's get it, man. In terms of, the Texans, first thing that I had thought of in terms of a strength for them was their young talent. Talk CJ Stroud, talk Tank Dell, talk Will Anderson, John Mechie. Watching them, I always enjoy watching young talent because they don't know who they should respect, who they shouldn't respect. They just out there playing. They out there having fun. And they're making mistakes, of course, because that's what rookies do. But it is pretty cool, I know for me at least, watching these dudes that we didn't see in college. I know me and you specifically been watching these dudes when we was doing some of the pre-draft stuff. So to just see them being able to carry that stuff over, specifically Tank Dell, how he's been able to jump on the scene early on, I thought to me, man, kind of stood out as a strength for that team over there.
Yeah, I'd agree. I have their two receivers in Tank Dell and Nico Collins.
Nico, yeah, he's another one, man.
They're playing pretty well, and the concern I have is they might be the style of receivers that give us trouble. Almost like the 49ers.
Yep. I know you're talking about.
Little quick guys, twitchy and whatnot. I feel better about I'm trying to think of an example of receiver. Like last year when we played the Buccaneers with Mike Evans
Big
or
body.
Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
Now, I would have said, too, I would maybe feel even better about going up against Devontae Adams, but no, that can't be the case. He's got it all. He's got the whole
package. He's a unicorn, though.
Yeah.
Because he can run little guy routes, but he's a big frame with a big catch radius, and he's fast. That's why he's
DeAndre
Devontae,
Hopkins. How about that example? I'd feel a lot more comfortable going up against him if he was still on the Texans.
Right? A.J. Brown. I'm sorry.
That was all Akello.
Akello, he got a pick last week, though.
He missed the memo, man.
He caught a pick last week.
Yeah, I also saw him get cooked, too.
He got cooked last week, too. That's Akello. It was an Akello game. He had a miraculous pick where you're like, that's all pro. And then he got cooked, and you're like, God dang. All in the same game. Can't make it up.
Yeah,
bro.
the Akello thing with the Eagles last year, I just didn't understand after seeing Pierre and also Terrell Edmonds being
do
able
the
to
same
stick
exact
with
thing.
A.J. Brown in the second half.
The exact same thing.
Akello couldn't for whatever reason. So, yeah, maybe we would have a better chance against A.J. Brown now with our new guys.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I'd like to think. But anyway, yeah, it's going to be intriguing with those two because it's early for them. They're putting up some stats. I also do think, though, if you watch some of these games, it is in garbage time. Like against the Colts, they were down 20+, and Colts playing a little bit softer defense and whatnot. So there's that. But no, I think right now, like you said, young talent, I'm just going to focus on them two as receivers. They're doing good things.
Nah, you facts on that, bro. Facts on that. I like it. The next thing, in terms of strength for the old Texans over there, bro, the special teams. All right, it was weird. It was kind of funny. But as a whole, number one, they got a block. Whenever you get a block field goal, block punt, we talk about how that boosts your chance of winning in a game 70-80%. Will Anderson getting a block on a field goal, it's just like, all right, that's impressive because that doesn't happen a lot. But that's also how Will's been playing at this level too, man. Super physical. He gonna hit you. He's definitely gonna try to run through you. We talked about him. He's more of the what's the cat up in New England right now? I'm drawing a blank on my man. Matthew Judon. He's more of a that style player, physical guy. So watching him get the block on field goal, I was like, all right, that's pretty impressive. And then anytime there's a return touchdown in the special teams vein, you got to acknowledge it. Now, is this sustainable? Is this
It's not
is it a high probability of this ever happening again? Not this week, but they did have a fullback take a kickoff return to the crib.
He had a nice juke move,
bro, but he did everything wrong before he got the ball in his hands. It's like you're not supposed to back up when you're up back. You drop the ball on top of that, but then once he got it, sometimes they say that's what happens too. When you drop whether it's punt or kickoff, it throws off all the timing, and you could low key get out, and it kind of worked. I thought he was gonna get caught. Salute him though. Salute him. But yeah, anytime you get a touchdown on special teams, like I said, man, we gotta acknowledge that. So salute him for that one.
I'm gonna give props to C.J. Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
He's standing tough in the pocket there. The O-line is not helping him out at all.
It is not.
Not turning the ball over. 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, putting up some yards. Like I said, I mean, some of it is due to garbage time. And I do think if you watch last week's game, I think it was so much less about the Texans being good and more about the Jaguars just imploding and consistently giving the Texans good field position and opportunities to win.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I mean, to the Texans' credit and to C.J. Stroud's credit, they did take advantage of some of those opportunities. I mean, they had more opportunities than the ones they took advantage of, but they just kept getting so many opportunities. Some of them were bound to hit. But I like what I'm seeing from Stroud right now. Hey, he looks good.
Well,
maybe he could break the Ohio State quarterback curse.
Ooh, good call.
Maybe.
Good
Justin
call.
Fields looked good at times his rookie year, so.
But at least this is like he's looking good throwing it. Justin was in good running.
100%. Yeah,
those are different highlights. Yeah.
Stroud looks
60-yard runs and stuff, man.
I mean, right now, if you want to do knee-jerk reaction out of the rookie quarterbacks, I think I said this last podcast.
Yeah.
I'd say Stroud's one.
Yeah, I mean, because right now Richardson's been hurt. He's out with the concussion, and then Bryce was out last week with the ankle.
Yeah, Richardson looks comfortable too. I'd actually put Young 3. I put Richardson
low key,
2.
early on. Yeah,
Richardson looks comfortable up there. He looks good on the ground. He's making enough throws.
Yeah,
he got hurt.
I do wonder too. Granted, none of their O lines are to the highest extent, but I'm like, Carolina might be the worst of the 3 protection wise. So I do wonder if that is at play as well, man.
I wondered this on the way over as I was driving. This is a Deke thought for you. Outside of like 3 or 4 teams, it's just every team's O-line in the league just suck.
Most do, and you have a piece here or there.
That might be where we're at.
You either have a really good O-line and an average quarterback, or you have an elite quarterback and an average O-line. Typically can't have it all at the same time, unless it was drafted and growing up. Like what we had in Pittsburgh, right? Pouncey drafted, DeCastro drafted, Bone undrafted, developed, Al undrafted, Kelvin Beachum undrafted. You miss on Mike Adams, but you hit on Marcus Gilbert, drafted. So it was like you kind of were able to keep it all homegrown. Whereas if you're not hitting on multiple picks like that, which as we can see right now, we haven't hit on as many of them picks.
Like Eagles O-line's good, I think.
Yeah.
No one can question that. Niners. Who else?
Cowboys are getting older. They're still pretty good, but they're getting older.
Yeah, I mean.
Definitely not. You already know how I feel about Buffalo. I'm like, that's the Josh. Come on, Josh. Come on. Yeah, because.
Well, they protected them pretty good against the Commanders, I thought. Or even against the Raiders, too, for the most part.
Yes.
I was surprised at that
different.
because the way you were talking, I thought they were going to be an abomination.
Trust me. It's a lot at play. They're doing a great job with everything that's at play right now. But it's also been a lot more running. It's been a lot more running, though. Both teams,
Bills and Dolphins. Huh?
No, you got to think about it, though, man. We already knew going in what our O-line was. That's what we run the ball. That's been the big difference in these first couple of games in terms of negating the pass rush from Washington, negating the pass rush versus Vegas.
Getting James Cook.
James Cook went for 100+ versus Vegas. And then the turnovers and stuff kind of really assisted versus Washington.
Right.
Yeah, but they ain't got no front where you just sit back and drop back. Man, what?
So I said Eagles and Niners. Are there any other slam dunk good offensive linemen or lines right now?
Yeah.
Should be us.
Because most people have like pieces. So like Buffalo, like the left tackle, like the center, like the left guard. You got the rookie right guard.
But I think a lot of that has to do with McDaniel's scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't really think of any.
Yeah.
There's probably about 4 or 5 good lines. It seems like everyone else just sucks. And those lines could be better or worse on any given week.
And that's why you see these quarterbacks quick passing attack. Just let me dot you up this way to get up out of here.
The Texans ain't good.
Okay.
Texans is definitely not good.
Mm-mm. But the last thing I had, man, in terms of strength for the Texans, I just said as a whole, I think that they are a good team, but I think they're limited talent-wise. Because of some of the talent being younger, it's still working on improving it, right? When we talk about the coaching staff, D'Amico Ryans, I like him. I like what they're doing. You see how the team plays hard, offense, defense, and special teams, but it just feels like it's missing something. And that's the part where I'm just like, I think they're a good team. I think they're a well-coached team. I think if you go in there and turn the ball over and you give them field position like Jacksonville did last week, they will beat you because they're not going to do a ton of self-inflicted things. Now, they still have some issues, trust me, but you can just see that they're buttoned up enough that you have to go out there and still execute. You can't operate like, man, we're like we talked about with Jacksonville last week. At times, it looked like Jacksonville was giving it away. And you're like, bro.
Calvin Ridley dropping passes all over the
Just
place.
like, yo, this is a lot of, self-inflicted things. They are good enough that they will come out of that stadium with a victory if we go down there like that. Now, I don't anticipate that because it's going to be a home game for the squad. But that's definitely one of the things, though, when I thought of them, man. Just good but limited.
Yeah, I actually have the same thing as my third. Just that they're not going to beat themselves.
Yeah.
At least through 3 weeks. That's the
It's been early.
mantra for this team. That's the reputation for this team. But they're not going to blow you out of the water. So if you do stupid stuff, then, yeah, you're going to give them an opportunity, and they can start getting away, and you're going to have to play comeback ball, and that's what happened with the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And it looked like the Jaguars were coming back until that kick return. And then that
kick return broke their back.
That just decimated them, yeah.
Because it's not supposed to happen, bro. It just looked like weird. It was crazy. But he really housed it, though, bro. And he's for a fact the fullback, too. It won't like, that's an H-back. No, that's a full. He had a 47 to stank number on, too. Yeah. I like it, though, man. I like it. All right. Well, now let's talk a little weaknesses for them Texans. Places where we feel like we're going to be able to have the advantage, where we can attack them. All right, Deke, I'm going to just stand on what I've been talking about. Man, they got Kendrick Green. He started last week. If he's starting again this week, man, that's public enemy number one right there, baby. I circle that one.
That's my first as
yes.
well. Just Kendrick Green. Do we need to say more?
Can he make it to the stadium? Y'all know major respect for Kendrick. He is a former Steeler,
Cam all of a sudden might be healthy for this game.
But I'm telling you now, he was starting last week at left guard. If he is starting this week, DeMarvin Leal, Larry Ogunjobi, Keanu Benton, and whoever else.
I think you do the whole Max Crosby thing. The Raiders were
okay.
line up TJ
all
over
right.
the center.
I'm not playing with y'all, man. He was out there starting last week, man. No exaggeration. He's wearing 50. If he is starting on their offensive line, we know who Kendrick is. He was here. He's homegrown. We're very familiar with him. This is one of those ones where, yes, the same way we knew Spillane's strengths and weaknesses, we obviously know what Kendrick does well. You watch him with the Texans. Whenever it's zone blocking stuff, he look good. He running out there, man. He trying to hit something. When it's back to him having to one-on-one power and anchor, you see the movement giving up. That's weakness number one for me, baby. Absolutely, man.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Just go on to 2. I don't need that.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely. The next thing was this, though, man. Their physicality in the trenches. I don't think they're not soft. I don't want to confuse the two. I'm not saying that they're soft, but you think about how hard and how physical we play in the trenches. We beat you up in there, right? Especially our defense. Alandon Roberts, how he comes downhill. Quan Alexander, how he comes down. We've talked about this. How we look like we crush people at times. I don't feel like they're ready for that just yet. That's the part that I really want to see, because that's a different brand of football. And that's largely why when you watch AFC North teams, when we play out of the conference, it's like we punching on people. I just feel like our brand is very physical, specifically in the trenches. And that's one of them things that for our defense, I feel like we're going to be able to punch on them a lot in that area right there, man.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I see a lot of advantages against this Texans team. So it's hard to pinpoint 2 more.
Okay, now.
I mean, we just talked Kendrick Green. You even brought up the O-line. I mean, I'll piggyback off that and say, yeah, we should have a field day against their offensive line.
I don't see anything outside of us jumping off sides is going to keep us from doing everything that we want to do versus that group, man.
Because that's the thing, going back to me mentioning Tank Dell and Nico Collins is something good for the Texans. I don't know if Stroud's going to have enough time to get the ball to either one of those 2 guys.
That was my whole thing. Now, Laramie Tunsil, I know he's questionable. He's their best option, man. But even with that, I still like Highsmith.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. I'm like, George Fant on the other side, you know what TJ on. You know what TJ on right now. I just feel like that's the Achilles heel for this team offensively right now. I love what CJ could do. I love what Damian Pierce can do. I love Devin Singletary. You know, that's the whole we got the same type of blood. You know where he came from. Like the receivers. But I'm like, I don't see how they're going to have time to do these concepts, these double moves, these elongated. Let me get Tank over the middle of the field. Let me get Tank on. I don't see how all of that is going to work when you got to block these dudes up here, man.
We just got to hope our run defense is more like it was against the Raiders.
Don't you
versus...
don't do that. Why you?
Oh no, I was gonna say,
man, you making me nervous now,
no,
D.
no,
Why
no,
you
no,
want to do that, man? Don't do that, man.
No. Just because the Texans have proven thus far they're not that good of a running team, even though they do have Dameon Pierce. He has been able to do shit this year. Only 100 yards on 40 carries, 2.5 average.
Very true.
So unless it's us gifting them free running lanes, we should be able to stop the run, which will enable us to hopefully tee off on Stroud, and then he's not going to be able to get the ball to these receivers.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Good space we have, man. Good space. Then the last thing for me in terms of a weakness or something that I just feel like we're going to exploit, I kind of alluded to it earlier when we were talking about them being good but kind of limited in certain areas. I just feel like they do lack the proven talent, offensively and defensively. When I look at their proven talent on offense, Laramie Tunsil, O-line, it's Robert Woods after that in terms of guys that have done it in the league. Shout out to my dude Woods. You know I love Woods. We got the same blood type. You know how that go, man. Pure bloods. All right. But at this stage, that's not scary. You look at them on defense. You got a Steven Nelson over there. We're familiar with Steven. We like Steven. Outside of, let me see.
He's like Levi Wallace.
But you catch what I'm saying, though, in terms of like when we talk about our cast of characters, it just seems different when we say certain names. It's like, nah, this is way different levels of proven talent. Whereas when we talk they proven talent, like I said, it just doesn't hit the same. And that's one of them things for me where I'm just like, if we going into a fight and we're saying that you don't got star players, but we do got star players, and everything else is supposed to be all right. We can slice it down the middle if we want to. I don't think it's sliced down the middle. I feel like we still got the advantage, but we got these superstars that y'all don't have. That at this level is a major issue, baby. A major issue, because we saw just last week what superstars do to your team. Superstars keep you in every game. But when you don't have those type of dudes that are proven and consistent and can do it to that level you can depend on every time, it can be dangerous for you at times. And this is one of those ones for me, man, where I'm like, we just got to do what we're supposed to do, man. If we don't turn this ball over, we're going to have us a pretty good time on Sunday, baby.
Right, because they have Stingley on the IR, and I'm looking through their defense, just like I did with the Raiders defense last week. And outside of Max Crosby, I didn't feel like they had any guys. And with the Texans, in general, I don't really feel like they have any guys, period. Now, Jalen Petrie's good. Jimmy Ward's good. Will Anderson. But are any of those guys Max Crosby? No.
Shoot, I saw Will. Shout out to Will Anderson, too, man. He's a captain over there, man. I like that young dude, man. Leadership. But at the same time, I'm like, if the rookie is the captain of your defense, baby, we lack it. Not saying that it's against Will. I love the fact that Will's a rookie captain. But as a guy who's been in NFL locker room with men, it's like, bro, where are my vets at? I ain't got none over there like that, though. It's another part of it, man.
So, in general, I just think this offense should cook against the Texans' defense. Yeah. Should be a game where we could get right running the ball.
Continue to stack positive performances, man.
It should be. I mean,
it should.
Depending on how you look at last week, we had like over 100 on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
We just weren't that efficient.
Well, we didn't have a solo hunted. It was a group project hunting.
Yeah.
It don't hit the same.
Yeah. So, like, Texans last 3 games gave up over 100 yards in each of those games. I saw
Did you see ETN?
Yeah, I saw ETN. And they went up against the Colts and Ravens. Now, they only had A-Rich out there for like a half. So, that's part of it. Ravens and Colts, good running teams.
Deke, did you see how ETN was carving them up, man?
Yeah.
He was carving them up pretty nice, man.
I'm just saying we should be able to get right in the run game, and I see no problems in the passing game. Who's stopping Pickens out here?
No.
Who's stopping Muth?
I don't feel like they're going to be able to get the
if
pressure.
We want to send
Will
Calvin
Anderson
Austin
is the
deep,
one.
Who's stopping
Will
him?
Anderson is the interesting one, just in terms of how we hold up against that situation. But that is nowhere near scary like the other scenarios, man. So if you're telling me Kenny's going to have time, like I said, I just feel good about it, man.
It should be better time than what we had these first 3 weeks.
Heck yeah,
it should be better time.
Heck yeah.
But then
Will Anderson is a beast,
we should have better running lanes.
But for a fact, man, we should. Their LB play is not hitting the same. Good players, but not to that extent where we're not going to be able to run the ball and win in the trenches or get up to the second level.
Like you said, just don't do stupid stuff. We win this game.
That's my big thing.
Just don't do
If you
stupid
go out there and
stuff.
turn it over 4 times, we're going to lose. If we turn it over 3 times, it's going to be really interesting. If you turn it over 2 times, I still feel like we get out the stadium, but it's going to get interesting. If we don't turn it over, I feel like we're feeling great.